Hey y'all, welcome to a Tiana podcast. I'm Tiana, and we about to get into it. So I want to talk about being humble. What is it? Having humility of some sort, and I want to unpack. I want to dissect. What being humble means, right? So, according to the dictionary, humble is an adjective. By definition, it says having or showing a modest or low estimate of one's own importance. Example, he was humble about his stature as one of rock history's most influential guitarists. Okay, another definition of low social, administrative, or political rank. Another example, she came from a humble, unprivileged background. All right, another one, lower in dignity or importance. This is talking about a person. That the person is lower in dignity or importance. All right, and the examples that they have is, I knew he had humbled himself to ask for my help. Right? So similar words, right, that they have for humble is meek, respectful, submissive, unassertive, unpresuming, modest, self-deprecating, resistless, low-ranking, low, and lowly. Now, I really want to talk about how, in my personal opinion and experience, being humble is very problematic. So we got the technical, literal definition of it out the way, because one, I want people to be on the same page of what the origin is, what it actually means, the true definition of it, and how it's a little bit it's quite different from how I think a lot of people think they're using it in today's world. I'm not being humble no more in 2022 and beyond. I feel like it's a very subtle way to subconsciously dim your light and dumb yourself down. If you hear these key words, submissive, meek, self-deprecating, like self-deprecating, that means you're being overly modest and critical of yourself. And it's just kind of like, I don't want to speak that negativity into myself. I'm not dimming my light anymore, not to make other people feel comfortable. And I really want us, especially in the Black and brown community, to really unpack why we do that in our cultures. And why it's like, oh, you better not hype yourself up too much. You don't want to get too cocky and get a big head. And it's just kind of like, are you saving me from narcissism? Or are you, insecure about yourself because you were never encouraged to actually live in your own confidence, right? Like, literally, the opposite definition that they have here. So the opposite of humble is proud. So we're not encouraged to be proud of ourselves, right? And I'm not going to take this too literal, of course, because everything is up to interpretation. But I just feel like, why are we not encouraged to be proud and think highly of ourselves? And then we wonder why we have so many self-esteem issues and people who don't think that highly of themselves. This plays a part in this. I've definitely been through this myself, where it's just kind of like, well, you know what? I don't want to seem too braggadocious because I don't want to come off a certain way, like I'm too full of myself. And it's just kind of like, but why? Oh, you think you all of that? You think you the shit? Yes. And you should think you the shit too. Ooh, excuse me, y'all. So I just came up out of my throat chakra just now. You should think you the shit too. And I feel like if more people had that type of mentality and spirit about themselves, it would be less hate and less people feeling like they have to shit on someone. And this is why a lot of, well-known people, celebrities, whoever, get so much hate, because these people are not secure in themselves. They probably were never encouraged to shine bright like a diamond, to be them true, authentic selves. And when they see someone else do it, it's like, who the fuck do you think you are? And that turns to jealousy and, envy, that type of thing. So it's just like, humble. Oh, let me humble myself. Humble yourself. Why are people encouraged to do that? Humble really is basically telling someone, you don't need to think this highly of yourself. You are not worthy of feeling this way about yourself, and you need to tone it down a bit because you're intimidating me. That's how I interpret someone telling someone to humble themselves. I don't see it as like someone looking out for you and being like precautious. Like, I really see it as an insult. I don't want to be humble. It's okay to be braggadocious. Now, what I will say, I do encourage people to, thank God and, whatever power they do or don't believe in, that's fine. But I do believe in being grateful and showing gratitude. I do believe in that. However, that humble shit is out the window. Why are we toning ourselves down to make other people comfortable? Or maybe it's just in our fucking heads that we're making other people comfortable. This imaginary audience that we just have in our fucking head. Humble people tend to get overlooked because it shows when you're not confident in yourself. When you truly believe you're not worth something, that shit shows. And people are not going to gravitate towards you. Not saying you should actively look out for people's attention, but if you're trying to draw in certain opportunities or blessings or whatever the case may be, or to make sure your presence is fucking known in a room or wherever, or just feel good about yourself. Sorry, y'all, I just got distracted. But like I was saying, that humble shit will really have you standing in your own way and blocking your own blessings because you don't even believe you're worthy of that shit or you deserve it. You don't even think you could get it. You don't think you got what it takes. That shit will stop you from getting any and everything you deserve and want in life, because you sitting up there listening to what somebody else thinks you should think of yourself. That shit is fucking crazy. And a lot of us go through this shit, but the moment we realize that, damn, this shit ain't got nothing to do with me, and here I'm over here letting this shit affect me so deeply that it's hindering me from everything that I need to get in life. And these things been conditioned in us since we were kids, and in a lot of situations, like parents not encouraging you to do what you're passionate about, and shit like that. Friends hating on you, telling you, oh, don't do this, don't wear that. Like, I remember I had a friend, I showed her a hairstyle I wanted, and she was like, I don't know. Like, she looked at me up and down, and then looked at the picture, looked at me, was looking back and forth, like, I don't know. I don't think that would look good on you. Like, I don't think that would fit you. And I'm just like, I was excited as fuck about this hairstyle. And I ended up getting it anyways. And I got so many fucking compliments. I loved it, which was the most important thing of all, how I felt about it. I loved it. And I'm just like, imagine if I would have listened to this negative ass bitch. This unimaginative ass bitch. Imagine. All the successful people who had a lot of naysayers and still went against the grain. Imagine if they would have really listened to the people that was like, that's not it. Imagine. So it's just like, this humble shit, telling someone not to do something or to not be living out loud, you know, it's just kind of, it's weird to me. Like, it's people who are like, oh, you wear too many loud colors and you're just out there. And it's like, that's them. Let them live their fucking life. If that makes you uncomfortable, oh, fucking well, that sounds like a personal problem. You need to deal with that on your own fucking time. And you need to remove yourself from the situation. Because no one is obligated to make you comfortable and to make room for you. Let people take up as much space and room as they want and as they desire. Some people don't even have to say much. It's just their aura and their essence. They exude self-fucking confidence and self-love. And some of that really makes y'all so uncomfortable. And that is something y'all need to unpack in perhaps therapy. It's so many people out here who don't even know they fucking potential, or they're too scared because of the fucking box that people put them in. I really want people to understand this humble shit, this whole ideology of, oh, let me humble myself. You can't even take a fucking compliment without saying, oh, but nah, it's, you know, that's just regular, da, 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 thank you, but, you know, I just, this is, you know, something like, ain't that big of a, like, you downplaying your own worth, your own accomplishments. Why are you downplaying yourself? Feel good about yourself. Feel good about your shit, your accomplishments, your skills, your talents. Stop letting people tell you, oh, yeah, it's not all that. Yes, it is. If you think it is, then it fucking is. I'm not the biggest digital creator in all of this. And I'm not there yet. But in my mind, I'm the baddest bitch with $1 billion in her bank account. In my mind. And in order for you to get to that place, you gotta think like that. You don't get nowhere by playing small. You don't get nowhere by playing small. Listen, that humble shit will have you fucked up. It got a lot of us still fucked up, unfortunately. And it's just like, I don't think low of myself. I can't continue to think low of myself. There was a point where I did. I'm not even gonna lie. Where I was really hurt. And I started to believe the things that people were telling me about myself, how I shouldn't feel this way because I don't look this way or that way. I didn't have what it takes for certain things. And it's just like, that just lets me know what kind of person they were. They ain't had shit to do with me. And that's so fucking unfortunate they couldn't see what I see now. And and the gag is, they probably did see all my potential. They just didn't want me to see it. So it's just, this whole acting lowly, thinking lowly of yourself, it's not it. You know, the word humble, I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all seen certain shows or movies. I know I watch a lot of like medieval time themed type of shows and movies. And you know, someone says, oh, I'm your humble servant, or you're my humble servant. And it's like someone of a high stature. They're like a prince, king, emperor, some shit like that. The people who use the word humble, they're like the peasants. They, you know, they don't look you directly in your eye, in your face. They're kind of looking down at the ground and have bad body posture. They're not sure of themselves. They don't think much of themselves. Other people don't think much of them. I don't think that way of myself, you know? That's not me. That's not who I am. I don't see myself as low ranking or submissive or meek. I'm not beneath any motherfucking body. Not even the people I look up to. I honestly, truly believe that people are obsessed with humbling people because they get satisfaction. Like, their ego gets satisfaction of someone not being sure of themselves. it's something that really satisfy these kind of people about other people living in their shadow. And that really bothers me and makes me so uncomfortable. I don't understand it, and it's something that really needs to be addressed and worked on. That individual needs to work on that type of thing, because I'm not living in nobody's shadow no more. I'm not being scared of my own goddamn shadow. Like, I'm not about to sit up there and dim my own light just so someone else can feel brighter. It's not happening. What about me? What about how I want to feel about myself? I don't deserve confidence. I don't deserve to feel sure of myself. I don't deserve to express myself as freely as I please. Why do I have to be so considerate of other people's perception of me? Reality check. I don't have to do a motherfucking thing. All I have to do is show up for myself, authentic as it gets. And that's it. Because I feel like we need more of a support system when it comes to this, because we already know, it's already given, it's inevitable. We're gonna have people that are really uncomfortable and are always gonna have something to say and just be some negative ass bitches and project their own insecurities onto other people and are willing to encourage other people to be and do the same. We need to band together. We need to band together, and I encourage people who are just now finding their voice and their purpose and their place in this world to really stand on that shit. It's okay to be braggadocious. It's okay to pop your shit. It's okay to talk your shit. It's okay to be like, you know what? I'm a bad bitch. I'm that nigga. I'm that girl. Material girl. Yes, it's okay. It's okay. I'm the man. Do whatever it is. Whatever floats your boat. This humble shit, this word needs to go. Ain't nothing humble over here. Ain't nothing meek, submissive, unassertive, servile, resistless, low-ranking, or lowly over here. What type of shit is that? Like, the word humble is associated with, just poor as in status. Like, I don't feel poor doesn't necessarily have to mean money. Like, poor, it can just mean in anything, your environment, your mindset. I don't think that fucking way of myself, and I shouldn't be forced to think that way of myself. We should not be forced to think that way of ourselves, because being the brightest light in the room takes away the attention away from the people who ain't got shit going on with themselves, who are not really truly happy with themselves. It turns the attention away from the fucking fraudulent, because they're not illuminated anymore. And that's not our fucking problem. Some people just got it. It ain't on you, it's in you. Stop trying to humble people. Stop telling them what they shouldn't say, what they shouldn't do, how they should or should not feel about themselves. Let them embrace their gifts, their talents, their skills, their knowledge, their art, their passion, whatever it is. Let them stand firm in that. Let them have something. Find out what it is that you have. Stop trying to pick people apart all the fucking time. What do you gain from that? This humble shit is out the window. When I want us to really think about the message that we're sending out when we tell someone to humble themselves, when they are trying to move forward and make steps towards doing something with conviction and with confidence, thinking highly of themselves, hold themselves up at a high standard. Why are we telling people to humble themselves? As if you want people to kind of bow down to someone or something that they should consider is better than them. Oh, don't think you all of that. You ain't all of that. Yes, I am. If I think I am, I am. Why are we telling people to humble themselves when they need help? Oh, humble yourself. You have to, in order for you to get the help and be worthy and deserving of help or an opportunity, you have to be desperate and damn near lick someone's shoe and kiss the ring and be a humble servant. It's very weird that you want someone to think low of themselves or that they're beneath someone just to make someone who considers themselves above them feel comfortable. That is sick. I really want us to dig deep into this mindset, this mentality of humbling ourselves or forcing people to humble themselves, trying to convince and gaslight people into humbling themselves. It's disturbing. This should not be normal behavior. I'm not here to argue with anyone and argue this into the ground. I'm standing on this idea. I'm standing on this statement. It is not okay to try to tell somebody that they're not all of that they're not worth something that they are passionate about. If someone is going towards something with conviction, do not tell them to humble themselves. Someone having confidence should not make someone uncomfortable. You know, we have this obsession with knocking people off of their high horse and telling someone that they're doing too much and they're not hot shit. You don't know what you could be doing to that person's self-esteem when you could just be supportive or give them a little bit of redirection if you see something that may need help. A lot of the time, the intention behind the statements that y'all are making are not to help people. It's to really be a low blow and stop them from seeing their light, stop them from shining. Stop them from outshining you. And it's fucking sad. And the real motive is jealousy and envy and fucking hatred. It's not constructive criticism. It is just you being a hating ass bitch. A hating ass hoe. And that's for any gender or however people, some people identify as. Whatever your pronouns are, you are a hating ass hoe. I really want y'all to unpack why someone loving themselves, being sure of themselves, make you uncomfortable. Really unpack that shit. A prime example of humbling people, the obsession of humbling people, is how, Mia Khalifa, she was a former adult film star, and she's, doing other things that are not related to that. And they constantly bring that up in our comments and things like that. Oh, I recognize you from somewhere. This looks awfully familiar. And just like little slick comments. And it's like, oh, I'm not interested in seeing her in this if it's not, related to pornography. And it's just kind of like, wow, you're not bringing this up to be funny. You want her to not feel like she can move on, like she's tainted from her past. And that's, we can open up a whole nother can of worms with misogyny and, slut shaming and, just how sex workers are disrespected. But that's another topic for another day. It's the fact that y'all want her to feel so much shame and to kind of expose her. She can't move forward. She can't evolve. Y'all don't want her to move forward and evolve. Y'all don't want to see growth with people. Growth and different things make people so uncomfortable. I cannot stand y'all. Another example. Fucking Jay-Z and that racist fucking woman, Tommy Loran, I believe. Whatever her damn name was, she basically was saying, she was referencing Jay-Z as, being a former drug dealer back when he was, living in Marcy Projects where he's from. And it's like, he was very open about that. He speaks about that in his music. And it's just kind of like you're bringing up someone's past who, one, already owns it. There's no denying it. And even if they didn't want that information out there was something that they didn't feel comfortable with sharing with others, why would you want to bring that up? What is the message that you're putting out there? What is your goal in sharing this information? What's your goal, mama? Why do you want to humble him so bad? Because he's a millionaire now. Excuse me, billionaire? Or however much the net worth is. I don't pocket watch people. I don't care about people's finances. They not giving me none. Drink water and mind my business, okay? Why are we humbling this man who's very successful, who some people look up to, and I'm sure he's more than proud of his success. Because when you come from places like that, from poverty, the hood, the ghetto, all that, when you come from these places, it's multiple times that you don't know if you gonna make it out or not. That you don't believe that you can. You can't foresee your success until things start, aligning and pieces of the puzzle start coming together and making sense. That is something to be proud of. A lot of us love an authentic come up and Cinderella story and all of that shit. But when someone is in a much better place financially or spiritually in life, it's like, oh, yeah, but you were doing this and you did that. Humble yourself. Don't get too far ahead of yourself now. Remember you used to do this 20 years ago? Remember you was selling crack? Remember you was popping pussy? Remember when you was on drugs? And it's like, wow. Why do you want to bring me back to a place where I may have not even healed from, or a place that I've already moved on from? We're not going backwards. We move forward, and that's what we're supposed to do. Going back to a fucked up situation is not grounding for a lot of people. It's not humbling. It's detrimental. Some people don't want to be reminded of that. And some people are not ashamed of it at all. It was just some stepping stones they went through, or just a point in their life. It was a season. It was just a season, and it passed. What is y'all obsession with humbling people? Let it go. I guarantee y'all, if y'all would spend more effort into putting that energy into yourselves, y'all hopefully would be in a more satisfying situation. Whether it's your surroundings or just how you feel within yourself. Because this shit has really been ingrained in us in society and in our cultures and our households and upbringings. And it's fucking sad. You see the next person feeling sure of themselves, thinking highly of themselves, trying to do better with themselves, and you're hating. That is deadly. That is dangerous. That is draining. That has to be exhausting. We are not doing each other favors by humbling people with negativity and hate, and the intentions are not pure. What is your intentions when you tell someone to humble yourself? What is your intentions to yourself when you humble yourself and show humility? What do you gain from that? What do you gain from not accepting a fucking compliment or stopping people from applauding you or praising you? What do you gain for making yourself small? How does it benefit you to make yourself small? Because we can't see you. You're nowhere to be found once you make yourself small. You don't want anyone to perceive you? What is it? What are you insecure about? Who taught you to be insecure about yourself? Where did you learn that from? Like, really dig deep into it. And it's like, as someone who was a psychology major, I really want this to be like an assignment for those who struggle with this. I want to personally talk about my experience with being humble and how that shit did not benefit me in any kind of motherfucking way. All right, so, I noticed me humbling myself even with auditions. Like, I tried to do the modeling thing. I tried to do the acting thing. And I didn't want to show my true personality because I didn't want to come off extra. And I was just kind of taught to just, not do too much. And, coming from a modest family, growing up Muslim, I am no longer Muslim. I don't identify with religion at all. But, to get back to my point, it was like, you better not do this, no makeup, don't dress this way, or it was a big hassle. And me always knowing or realizing at some point that there's a bad bitch deep down inside there, you can't hide that. And even when I still had this aura to me, people would point out how I stood out. And it's just, you can't, no matter how hard you try, if somebody sees something in you, now they may hate on it or they may embrace it. But however it's nothing you can really do to hide that shit. Because it's in there deep down inside. Now, back to the other examples of me being humble and how that shit did not work in my favor. Just walking in certain stores feeling like, why am I here? The high-end luxury brands feeling out of place, not speaking up. I remember being young and just, I don't know, bitch, my throat chakra was blocked or something. But I wasn't sure of myself, and there was a lot going on in particular at one time when I was young. And I just felt like if I just stopped talking or speaking up for myself, I wouldn't get in as much trouble, or I just didn't have the energy anymore. I was just very soft-spoken, or I didn't speak at all because I was fucking tired of the shit that was going on in my life at that time. So even just ordering food at the fucking store or whatever, the people are like, can you speak up? I can't hear you. And they're getting frustrated. And I'm just like, I don't want to project my voice at this point. Like, I don't feel good about myself. Like, that's how I felt at that time. So, just this being humble and just like that fucks up your confidence. It makes you just want to put yourself in a corner somewhere because you don't feel worthy of letting people feel your presence. Because you're too scared to intimidate somebody. Personally, I had issues with speaking up for myself and standing my ground because I didn't have that confidence to believe in myself. I think coming from the type of modest and overly religious and strict background that I did, it just made me feel like I had no choice in anything. Everything was just, I always had something or someone judging me. As much as I wanted to be loud and outgoing and wear whatever I want and the jewelry and whatever fashion and makeup, it made me feel like me having passion for these things were wrong or a sin or something. And me speaking out against something was just so wrong. And everything was under the judgment of God and Allah and shit like that. And it took me a while to unpack that type of cult-like groupthink dynamic. And although I respect all people's faiths and religions and beliefs, it definitely made me resent religion in a way. I don't identify with religion or Islam anymore, but I respect those who still practice. They're good people. So that's another thing to break down, how this humbling shit is in many sacred texts in religion, and how having a slice of humble pie is what gets you into heaven or wherever you think you may go in the afterlife or want to go in the afterlife. Now, it took me a while to really believe in certain things within myself because other people have had to convince me, or they've had to bring shit to my attention. Like, hey, like, you have all of these great qualities about you. You're such a great person. You do this and you do that. You have leadership skills. You're beautiful. Like, and it took me such a long time to believe these things. Like, oh, you stand out. You have this aura and light about you, and you give good energy. I had such a fucking traumatic ass childhood that I couldn't fucking even believe the shit that people were telling me. I'm just like, I do. So that can fuck you up in a way where someone is telling you to just dumb yourself down, because anything that you do that may, bring any type of attention your way is wrong. Like, I was taught that, wearing tight clothes and shit will attract the wrong attention. You don't want to wear makeup. That will attract the wrong attention. No tattoos and on just a whole bunch of the extra strict modesty. And nothing is wrong with modesty. However, it shouldn't be forced upon people. Feeling like I had to overcompensate to get my freedom back, to get my voice, my expression back, because in a lot of families, and I want to say black families in particular, it's this very toxic, dysfunctional approach to children expressing themselves. Oh, you not wearing that color hair in my house. You can't have that many piercings, or you don't need to be wearing that lip color, that eyelid. Some people are really strict about lip gloss. You can't wear that color shirt here. And even with vocal expression, don't talk back. And it's like you're teaching children to not stand up for themselves. It's not disrespectful to stand up for yourself or have a difference of opinion. Yes, children should respect elders and other people in the family. However, people get it fucked up with this. The adults don't have to respect you in return, and it's this powered thing, and it's like that shit is generational ass trauma. It is, because who taught you that I can speak to you however the fuck I want, and you better not have nothing to say, or I'm gonna whip you and discipline you? Where did we learn that from? Does that sound familiar? We can get into that another for another episode. But where does that ideology come from? I can treat you, I can beat you, I can yell at you, I can do whatever the fuck I want to you. But if you got something to say, or you got something to go against what I'm doing, I'm gonna hurt you. And there's nothing you can do about it. You stuck here with me. But anyways, this whole not being able to speak up for yourself and not being able to express yourself because it's too much. You too grown, or you think you all of that. What is wrong with expressing yourself? What is wrong with wanting to wear not loud colors or shiny jewelry, or do however it is you want to express yourself, whether it's with fashion, makeup, music, art, whatever it is? What is wrong with that? Why do we have to wait until we're out of someone's fucking house to explore what we want to identify with? Why are plans and ideas just like we're talked out of it? We're not encouraged to really do shit because it may be different. It's like a lot of time with families, they have this way of life already planned out for you, and you can't do anything for yourself. It's only valid if you're out of the house. It took me, excuse me, it took me being rebellious and having to like really let people know I don't give a fuck what you're saying. I'm still going to continue to do what I want. And if I have to suffer some weird ass consequences because of it, then so be it. And I think people, for the most part, especially as I got older, realized I'm going to say and do whatever I want, and there's nothing you can do about it. I don't care if you don't agree with it. That's fine. If it's the wrong thing for me, let me learn that shit on my own. Because the way things were expressed and the approach that people had with me was not appropriate at all. So I'm just like, y'all can't tell me shit. I've been so used to finding my way and doing shit on my own. The moment someone did try to have some type of discipline or direction for me, I was like, who are you? So I felt like I had to take that freedom back because it was so oppressive growing up. Not to tell my whole life story and shit, but that's how it was for me. And, although me and my mom still don't see eye to eye on this topic and probably never will, and that's fucking fine with me, but I felt like I was forced to humble myself and not express myself with certain things. And when I did get that freedom, I ran the fuck wild because it was not exposed or encouraged to me. So when I saw different things were going on with other people in their family, and when I did get the opportunity to do certain things that my mother would have never allowed, I ran a little bit too far with it. At that point, no one could tell me shit. Had I been introduced to different things in a healthy way, I probably wouldn't have been, just wilding outside the way that I was at one point. But I felt like I had to overdo it because I didn't know when it was going to be taken away from me. And because I was just enjoying myself. I was enjoying being able to wear what I wanted. I was enjoying being able to express myself however I wanted, wear makeup, wear my hair out. And it was just a liberating ass experience for me, and then some people just like, oh, you had the freedom, that's why you're running wild. And my mom was like, she says this, you enjoyed it more being outside the house because you had freedom. And I'm just like, what's wrong with that? What is wrong with me enjoying the fact that I felt free? What would have been liberating, or what would have been positive about me not being able to do the things that normal or the average child or teenager should have been allowed to do? Not to make this my whole damn life story, but however, like, just not being able to do certain things that gave me issues with my social skills, and not feeling confident enough to do this and do that. And even to this day, my mom is critical about certain things, and I'm just like, I don't care. Cry about it. I don't care if you don't like what I'm wearing. I don't care. She's blocked from social media because you're not about to tell me, oh, I don't like that you're wearing this, and the makeup this, the hair that. What do you get out of being overly critical? Although I love my mother, the hater energy that comes with, trying to humble someone is just ridiculous to me. These celebrities, they're not... Where would they have gotten if they were humble? Where would have Nicki Minaj, Rihanna, Beyonce, Jay-Z, and all the other celebrities who are known for their, I guess, cockiness and being confident... Where would have they gotten in life if they were not confident in themselves and they were just humble? I don't think people really understand the true definition of humble. It is okay to be liked and relatable. However, that's not the same thing as humble. It's not. Humble is literally silencing yourself or dumbing yourself down to let someone else shine, when you can shine as well. And it should not be a competition, but if you naturally attract a certain type of stardom or anything, that should be fine. And it should not make people who are confident and secure within themselves uncomfortable. But that's the issue. Most people, I believe, are not really comfortable within themselves. They see someone who's confident, right? Who thinks highly of themselves, who speaks highly of themselves. They see it as, you think you're above everyone. No, that's not it. No one is saying to worship me. No one is saying that you need to see me as a god or anything. But if you carry yourself in a godly way because you think that way of yourself, what's wrong with that? People are obsessed with making sure people don't love themselves. Now, speaking of celebrities, Nicki Minaj in particular, I am, if you don't know by now, or if you do know me, you know that I am a Barb. I've always been a Barb. This is not a segment where I'm just, being an annoying stan or anything like that. However, I do want to speak about my personal reasons of being a Nicki Minaj fan and what it has done for me mentally in regards to my confidence and my self-esteem. Now, what I've always loved about Nicki Minaj is how she's always been here for the bad bitches. She's never been one to tell women to not be confident in themselves. It was always bad bitches need to unite. And that's one thing about me. I love beautiful women. Beautiful women love me. And I'm all here for sisterhood, girl power. Now, When Nicki Minaj first came onto the scene, I was just like turning a teenager. What really made me love her is how she spoke life into being cocky and braggadocious. Like, she spoke life into bad bitches. Like, she spoke life into women. And I didn't feel good about myself at that time. I was going through a lot when Nicki first like got on the scene and started to blow up. In particularly, I was going through a lot personally in my life, and it was a real serious transitional period for me. I was going through like a real bad depression. I just didn't give a fuck about life, and particularly at that point. Like, it was very difficult for me. I didn't feel like I had control of what was going on. I was a minor, of course. I just did not feel good about myself at all. I didn't feel good about what was going on in my life, and listening to her and her music made me feel like I was that bitch. 12, 13, 14, and beyond, because I've been a Barb ever since, I felt like a bad bitch. I'm listening to her early in the fucking morning, getting ready for school or whatever the fuck, going out. And it made me feel like I was unfucking stoppable. And nobody could tell me shit about myself. I wouldn't even go to the corner store without putting on a little bit of makeup. Because I always wanted to make sure I looked good and felt good about myself. That made some people uncomfortable. They felt like, oh, you don't need that. Why do you feel like you need that? Are you insecure? Or you always doing this? It made people feel uncomfortable. And I truly didn't give a fuck. I truly didn't. What only mattered to me is how I felt about myself. Listening to Nicki Minaj and things like that. And I encourage, if you going through some shit, you a young woman, even if you a young man, it don't matter. If you having some issues with how you feel about yourself and you need to pick me up, throw on some Nicki Minaj. I'm so serious. I know that helped me when I was in dark moments and I didn't feel good about myself. I threw on some Nicki Minaj and I was the baddest bitch ever. Okay? I used to just have Nicki on repeat. One song in particular, Roman's Revenge, Blow Your Mind, and just about every song Nicki has, she's reminding bitches, I'm that bitch. And if you a hating ass bitch, you're not a bad bitch. Because bad bitches don't hate on other bad bitches. Bad bitches uplift other bad bitches. You feel me? And bad bitches don't have to... It doesn't have to be how you look like. It's how you are on the inside. It's your presence, your aura. It don't necessarily have to do with how you look. That part is highlighted. However, when you feel good about yourself, you gonna look like a bad bitch regardless, and vice versa. And it should be vice versa, but that humble shit didn't work for Nicki. She was braggadocious. She was letting you know, this is who I am, and you can't, even if you don't agree, bitch, just know I'm the shit. If other people see you genuinely believe you the shit, they gonna believe you the shit too. Not saying you need people to believe it, however, when people see you're sure of yourself, they like, yeah, that's the real deal. And they should follow the same thing within themselves. Now, I was definitely influenced by Nicki in my teenage years, and I even had the pink shit on the under pink shit and the bangs, and I don't really have much pictures of the pink hair that I had. I think I deleted that shit off Facebook, but I definitely still got the picture with the Barbie chain and everything. Some people said I look like her, I talk like her, and I didn't see that. Definitely there was some influence, and I love her. However, Nicki always made it a thing. If you a real Barb, you know that Nicki is like, do your own thing. Don't try to be like somebody else. You ain't got to copy or bite off of nobody. Be a bad bitch within your own right. Still have your own individuality. She always talked about bitches being her sons. She is the influence and is the standard. I always wanted to make sure that I had my own personality and identity. I didn't want to be Nicki Minaj, but she helped with my confidence and me speaking up for myself and it being acceptable to be a beautiful young woman who knows what the fuck she wants out of life. And to go against the grain, to go against people who try to shut you out or silence you, to be strong enough to stand against hate, because there's nothing you could do about that shit, but you still gotta be yourself. I'm not gonna make this a long ass rant about being a Barb and Nicki Minaj, alright? Do things that encourage you. Be around people. Surround yourself with things, people, whatever, that encourage you to be yourself. And I know it's hard because a lot of us have family members who don't feel good about themselves, and that shit rubs off on you. When your environment is not the best, you start to be influenced by that shit. And my advice is to really fight that shit. Get up out of there by all means. Do not stay somewhere where you know you are not growing. That shit may look impossible or hard as fuck, but what's gonna be even harder is trying to pull yourself away from some shit that you starting to get real comfortable in. Because you're going to wake up or look back, and it's going to be years that went by, and you weren't living your authentic self. You're regretting not doing certain things, taking certain opportunities, not expressing yourself. And here you are stuck in this mindset of, let me just be humble, let me shut my mouth. I don't want that for myself. I don't want that for any descendants of mine. I don't want to let down myself. I don't want to let down my ancestors. I want to live in my true purpose, and that may not be comfortable for other people, and that's fine. So this whole humble yourself shit, it's a fucking hoax. It's a hoax, and it's not real to have the true success you want by being humble. You have to speak up for yourself. And I remember, this is bringing me back to a old doctor's appointment I had when I was like 19. And I was waiting a while. You know, I checked in, but, you know, I was there waiting a while. I'm thinking that the doctor's seeing somebody else, but, you know, I guess the message never got to the doctor that I was waiting there. And the doctor had came out and was just like, hey, like, who are you waiting for? And I guess she was under the impression that she thought I was late. And, you know, me, I'm used to waiting long times at doctor's offices and all type of ghetto shit like that. So I'm not thinking anything of it. I had to pee, but I had to hold my pee. They needed me to have pee in my bladder to, like, do the ultrasound thing, to, like, look and you know, see what was going on. So I'm just waiting there with a full-ass bladder, damn near about to pee on myself, not saying shit. And the woman, she had this really strong Russian accent. I'm not even going to try to imitate her. But she's like, you need to speak up. Like, in this country, you have to speak up. And I'm just like, girl, I was born here. I'm thinking in my head, like, ma'am, I was born here. Like, I know, but she was just saying, like, you need to speak up. You're a young lady, and if you don't say anything, people will pass you by. Speak up for yourself. Stand up for yourself. They were not doing their job in the front. And they do that a lot. You can't depend on people to get things done for you if you're not on top of it. The way she was speaking was very motherly in a way. She was very kind, but she was stern. I think a lot of Russian women in particular are like that. They're not necessarily mean, but you gonna feel what they saying. It made me realize, like, this whole people pleasing, trying to keep the peace, humbling myself shit is not going to help me. If I didn't speak up and stand out with a lot of the things that I did in life, I wouldn't have accomplished it. As I've gotten older, like, I realized there's nothing I can do about my personality, my looks, my aura, and I should just embrace it. And as I grow, I feel it, other people can feel it, and there's nothing I can do, and there's nothing that I shouldn't want to dim that about myself. I shouldn't dim my progress. my light, anything. Sidebar for the astrology people. You know, I had got my birth chart read twice so far. I want to get another one. But I got my birth chart read, and I have certain placements in there that basically encourage fame, wealth and fame, actually. And doing my own studies into it, I'm like, oh wow, this checks out. I'm just like, where's the money and the fame though? I don't know if I really want the fame, but it's like, you know, if that's in my destiny, I can't run away from that, you know. However, the money, give me the money. Give me the money, please. I want it. give me the wealth. I need to get the fuck up out the hood, all right? The placements that, you know, they were reading was like, other people are attracted to you because of these things. And have you ever noticed this about yourself or other people in your environment? I'm like, yeah. And it's like, you can't run from that this is within you. Now, not everybody believes in astrology and blah, 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 and I'm probably losing people right now, but that's fine. I'm used to being misunderstood, all right? But, you know, your purpose is your purpose. And you can't humble yourself to change that. You shouldn't want to. And a lot of the times when people try to humble you, it's because they see everything in you that you don't see. They don't want you to see that shit yet. Or they see everything in you that they wish they could be and they wish they could embrace. Once we get out of this, like, slave mentality and this, you know, crabs in a barrel mentality, we should be able to really embrace each other with a sense of, you know what, I'm dope, you dope too, let's be dope people together. Or even if it's not meant for y'all to, like, be dope together, still respect the fact that they're dope within their own right. It's not a battle. It's not a competition. The toxic groupthink of monarchy, patriarchy, hierarchy, all of that shit has fucked us up generation after generation, time after time. So it's so many things to unpack with this humbling shit, to be honest. Let's just take the time to really know ourselves and to embrace the things that bring us joy and to just be confident. Let's work on the self-love. Don't let anybody stop you from loving yourself. It may be hard because I know I struggle, and you know what, I don't want to speak the word struggle right now. I am trying to use other words so I can learn not to speak negativity over myself, because words are spells. So it's even more difficult to really see the light at the end of the tunnel and to embrace the positivity and things. And your environment plays a big part of that shit. So I just want to say, stop telling yourself to be humble. Stop letting other people tell you to be humble. It's really not worth it. Be respectable. Be relatable even. But you do not have to dumb yourself down or be humble in any kind of sense. It is okay to be confident. You can still be a kind, respectful person and still know you that bitch or know you that nigga. It is still okay. You don't have to humble yourself, quiet yourself down, dim your presence. You don't have to do any of that. It's not benefiting anybody. It may benefit somebody else, but it's damn sure not benefiting you. And you shouldn't have to sacrifice or suffer because of how someone else feels about themselves or wants you to feel about yourself. When you are in this mindset that only you matter about how you feel about yourself, it opens so many different doors.